What a gift, right?
I know. It's something that I don't have.
I'm like, can I send a voice note? Nathan's like, no, call them on the phone. I'm like, dang it. Okay.
A voice note?
This is the place to ask questions. This is the place to take notes. This is the place to learn strategy. Welcome to the Visible Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Lewis, and this is the podcast you'll love listening to week after week. After a history in Hollywood, I know what it takes to get visible. And as an entrepreneur, you don't have to keep feeling frustrated and trapped, not able to get yourself out there. Myself, my guests, and even my family are here to lift you up, guide you, and give you powerful ideas so that you can get your unique voice into the online space. Ready? Let's do it.
And action.
Everyone, welcome back to the Visible Entrepreneur Podcast. We are so excited to be joining you today from Dubsado headquarters. We are here with Becca and Biz, and I'm so thrilled to chat with them today. I connected with them like 6 months ago, and I've come to some of the huddles and connected and bonded, and it's been a beautiful, beautiful time. So I'm so excited to chat with you guys today. Why don't you just give a quick little interjection for the people that have no clue what Dubsado is, have no clue who you are, even though I'm sure everyone does.
Yeah.
Or they should.
Sorry. Really?
Yeah, it's okay.
Do I look you or here?
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering too. Where do I go?
Okay, good.
Anyway.
Got that out of the way.
Just
Leave
ignore
that.
Nathan,
Where do
okay?
I look?
Nathan doesn't exist.
He's not there. Okay, got it.
Right.
Good. That was a good question. I'd be like, wow.
All right. So yeah, thank you so much for having us. Dubsado is a client management system that's geared towards any kind of busy entrepreneur that's just trying to simplify their business, how they run their business, their structure of it, and just handling the contracts, the invoices, the questionnaires, all those miscellaneous parts of the business, kind of summing down all of those programs that you use and putting it into one system to do that all.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and she's the co-founder.
She is.
I am.
Say
Becca,
that.
the co-founder.
And then I do a bunch of things, I think, but right now what I'm really focusing on is building more of a community sense, dealing with a lot of partnerships and sponsorships, as well as helping streamline people's content. So alongside of Becca. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I think that this is such a huge topic, obviously. It's something that a lot of people need, and it's super helpful, and I know a lot of people that have started using Dubsado because they are more of like what I like to call the writer or the actor personality types, and that means that they're really good at engaging with people and like building their tribe, but they're not necessarily the most streamlined, organized, and they certainly don't want to be spending all day in their inbox and figuring out like, when did this go to so-and-so, and did they do this, and then how do I get paid, and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. So check out Dubsado. But digging into this deeper, I want to chat a little bit about what you guys have been doing this week in terms of helping people create more of a brand experience. What struggles have you seen people have, that things are kind of all over the place, and what do you think are some good tips to simplify that process so that you can really present your brand cohesively?
Yeah. Something Biz and I have been working on, just specifically, her and I have been redoing people's forms. So we posted in our Dubsado Facebook community we're opening up 3 hot seats. Send us your forms and we'll revamp them. We'll give us like your most ugliest, broken down, whatever you want
something
someone
that's
to
just not really working for you right now.
Yeah,
that type of thing.
Give it to us. We'll be the fresh eyes that looks at it and transforms it live on the Facebook tomorrow. So we're revealing them tomorrow.
Yeah. And we're hoping to keep doing it. I think that depending on how it goes tomorrow, I think we'll keep going with it. But I think a lot of people have, like you said, like they have the ideas of what they want and the great content of what they want, but they haven't figured out either how to organize it correctly to make it work for them, or even just make it on brand. I think a lot of people are like, I'm just going to throw my logo on there and hope for the best. And it's like, well, it doesn't go with the, like, some people are really fun and their services that they bring are super fun. And then their forms are just like dragging their clients down.
Like gray and just general.
And too much information, and like the verbiage is like, bleh. So I think it's just like creating that consistency.
There's just so much in being a business owner. It's a lot of work. And I think by the time they get to those forms, it's not the most necessary thing. They want to just get rid of it all. They want to finish it as fast as they can. So the website is the most important thing to them. But it's definitely carried out through the entire brand experience, and that's what we're here to help with.
Yeah, and I think we just look at so many all the time anyways, that it's like, if you just do this, it makes a world of a difference. So yeah.
I was talking to actually my podcast team yesterday on our team call and saying, like, create what you need to create, then step back and then come at it with fresh eyes, because you're going to be like, holy moly, I like misspelled the. Like, what's wrong with me, right?
Exactly.
But it's true.
We have this joke that, like, if we start a project before lunch, we're completely different people after lunch, which I think is just, I think, like, food, you know, the whole, like, hangry thing. But it's funny because we'll start something before lunch and then we'll come back and we'll be like, just leave it until after lunch, and we'll come back and completely transform it. But the fact that we've already had the bones of it kind of set out, the outline of it, and then we come back after, we're like in a better headspace, I guess. And then it completely transforms everything.
Never go with your first try.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
It doesn't work. No. At least for us.
So let's dive a little bit into how, because the reason why I think your company is so different in terms of the entrepreneur space is that you actually have a tangible office. Like, it's right here. Right?
Yes, it is.
A lot of people don't do that, and I think there's a lot of fear around that, but I love that you did that, and it's such a different thing. So what made you really want to have an actual office and actually bring a whole team in here? What was your vision?
I love going to work. It's really fun, and I know that I wanted work to be another space to enjoy, to have friends here that we can laugh with and talk with. So it was mostly, too, for Jake and I, just to have fun and to have a great team. But also, when we created Dubsado, we knew that it was going to exceed just Jake and I, because it just started out, Jake was the programmer, I was customer service, and I didn't want it to be like that for long. So we always had in mind, we wanted to scale, we wanted to grow. So we started in my parents' office, started there. That was our, like, tangible spot. Then we grew to like a temporary place. It was like 700 square feet. Tiniest little closet that we were in.
It was so fun though.
The AC was like blowing like crazy all the time. But and then here, and it's just like we all kind of like took a deep breath, and it was like, we're home.
Yeah.
But it's just the morale that we have here, and every time we walk into work, it's like being with friends and being with family, and it's something that definitely makes us work differently as well, because we are just having so much fun that our customers can feel that as well. So working together was super important, just to have that collaboration with each other.
For sure.
You can hear them all talking now, probably.
Yeah, and I love that. That's why we're doing it here, so you guys can feel like you're in the office with us.
Yeah. I remember too, like, before you guys even brought me on, I remember you saying, like, they were trying to find a bigger office and something that would suit their needs down the line. And I remember just being like, well, are we all just going to be, like, in your garage at one point? And she was like, no, I want an office because I want that separation, I guess, of, like, the creativity to just flow rather than, it's kind of like stepping away at lunch and coming back. Like, having that space where you can really thrive. And I think any space.
It's true. And more so, too, because kids are at home. Work is here. I could not work and do this. Some people can do it, but doing the type of work that we do, and it's craziness at times, I needed like a quiet space to separate away. It's time consuming, but being here and being focused is a lot better than doing it at home, trying to juggle the kids as well.
Absolutely. So for people that are building a team, but their team isn't local, what are some tips of what you've done here that they may be able to incorporate there, even though they're not actually coming into an office? Are there any like team building exercises that you guys do, or is there like a weekly check-in or anything like that?
We actually have everyday check-ins. So our team will go into the conference room, go around in a big circle, and say what they're working on that day or the day before, and just check in to make sure everyone's okay. And it's literally just 5 minutes every day. But it sparks conversation. It sparks to, maybe something happened the day before they had trouble with in the program or something, and they need to bring it up. So that's something that they work on that day. So it's just about the communication. And even though we're here all together, there still can be a lot of, lost in translation things or assume that someone knows something. So the same communication can still exist in person and also elsewhere. So I believe having those either daily or weekly check-ins are super, super important.
I mean, Mo.
That's true.
We recently brought on somebody to do kind of the overnight shift for customer service so that people that are overseas and things like that have more of an immediate response time.
Awesome.
And she'll talk to us all throughout the day too. Like she'll wake up and she'll just text us or like check in. She lives here, but she checks in, she like calls. We're all in like this big group chat thing.
Yep.
So I think it's like she still gets all the jokes and everything because we're all in constant contact even if we're not all together. And I think we've all become friends, and I think that's been important too.
That's true. It opens the communication a little bit.
Yeah.
What are some key things that have helped you become more visible in the last year that you think would be very beneficial for a listener who's wanting to build a business, whether it's service-based or just them as a brand, like as a photographer or whatever? What are some things that you think that they can incorporate that you've incorporated this year?
I know what yours is going to be, so I'm going to go with mine.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm
I
really
hope it's the
curious.
same. But ours has really been going all in for every single client that contacts us. So basically an email, a phone call, whatever it is, just making each individual person feel heard, feel loved, welcomed, and just walking away from any kind of communication that they've had with us feeling a little bit better and happier than they did before. Even if we maybe weren't able to solve their problem, but we want them to just feel good. Yeah. And that has a little bit more of a ripple effect than we think.
Yeah.
It has driven people talking about us on Facebook groups, in blogs. So that kind of is our marketing, so to speak. And it's just gotten a lot of people to talk about Dubsado, and that has what's grown our business. You know, people get on the call like, I have heard so many great things,
mouth.
and it's like, oh, thank you, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
So just treating each person like they are our only client is a big thing for us.
I'm really curious. What did you think I was going to say?
You manage it.
I wasn't going to say social media.
Oh, this is exciting.
But, I mean, I can.
Fight, do your kid.
I think, social media, I think, has been a driving force.
The last
this
few
isn't
months.
my answer that I was going to say, but I'll
I want
say
both, so let's
okay.
go. Yeah.
But, yeah, it's been a driving force lately.
Yes.
It wasn't in the beginning, but lately we've been, like, picking up on things like that, and I think just us being funny and just maybe not funny to everyone, but I think we make ourselves laugh. So we were like, maybe that'll bring like the kind of people that we want to help out. But being consistent with that social media has been something that I would say has helped us continue to be visible. But what I was going to say was relationship building. I think that with the whole word of mouth thing, I think that instead of just putting out content and hoping people come type of thing, it's been like really growing those relationships. And even if that person can't help you or doesn't need your service or product or whatever, if they genuinely love you as the people behind the business, they're going to talk to other people. And I think that that's such a powerful thing because you're always going to have that relationship in the back of your mind. And so I think relationships are huge for like constantly building your visibility.
That's why I'm here. Like I personally, I'm more product digital product based. So I personally don't use Dubsado a ton, but I'm here because I love them and because I was told about them and I just love the huddles. And so I'm like that weird stalker that's like, oh yay! So I think it's a perfect example.
We're
like,
weird stalkers for a lot of people too. I'm a weird stalker. She's not.
But case in point, that works.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love getting back to the grassroots of marketing and have it be authentically about relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of why you started the company in the first place. So that's fantastic. So what would Jake say if he were here?
Oh. About that?
Yeah, about visibility strategy. What would he say?
Gosh, he'd have some.
He loves human contact.
Yeah.
If there is a chance where he doesn't answer an email and talks on the phone, he'll prefer to pick up the phone and talk to the person and talk through it.
What a gift, right?
I know. It's something that I don't
I'm like,
have
can I send a voice note? Nathan's like, no, call them on the phone. I'm like, dang it. Okay.
Voice notes even further. I'm like, can I text them? Do I need to? But I'm getting better. We're working on it. But Jake is really good at that.
Yeah, he wants to pick up the phone. He wants to just pick up the phone, call Lately with Jake, his driving force lately has been his blog post. He loves writing. So he's been writing a lot of entrepreneurial help podcast blog posts. Like yesterday's was how to deal with anxiety as a business owner, because there's a lot of people that work by themselves or work at home and deal with the stress of maybe another job or kids. So anxiety is a total normal and real thing. Something that many people struggle with. So he's just been helping people through his writing, and it's made him feel so good, and it has made our users connect with us like we're a human, real company, not just some software. So we like giving ourselves that human side instead of just a stale software company.
Just a program,
Absolutely. So what would be the one piece of advice that you would give someone that is working at home, they're behind their computer, they're in the tediousness and the frustration of it all, just one tip that they can start implementing every day to be able to have the motivation to keep going? Bum, bum, bum.
I have mine. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I would say to find someone that's in similar shoes as you, because I know I've had jobs where I had to work before here, had to work on my own and it was all very, I guess like kind of commission based. And so all I was focused on was like, I need to meet these goals, and I wasn't talking to anybody, and it was kind of like, I was just like
the submarine.
And then I'd get really upset and be really hard on myself and have no one to talk to that understood what I was like in that same boat. Right. And so I think being able to talk to people that understand your highs and your lows. I mean, like your spouse might not even be able to understand it. So I think finding that, not yours specifically, but
I had to seize the moment. It was so beautiful.
I love you. Or your best friend or anything. Like I feel like sometimes they just don't understand. And so to find a person who maybe doesn't understand completely but understands where you're at or where you're coming from, I think that that's so valuable to just have a person that understands and can just even sympathize. Maybe not necessarily offer you advice or anything, but just kind of be there and get it, I think that's important.
There's a buzzword now, hustle. It's like a huge word. And I don't necessarily believe in the hustle. And especially if you're working at home, you have kids, whatever, it's easy to get caught up like, I need to do this, I do this. And the faster you move and the more you do, the more you get done. And that's so not true. You just set up a time where from 9 to 12, this is my power mode, my work mode, I get it done. Then give yourself that break. It is okay to not hustle all the time, because if you're just working fast and working all the time, you're not going to be working the most productive. Set up those hours. Give yourself a relax to step away completely. Don't even look at your inbox for an hour and then come back fresh. But hustling will get you nowhere.
Well, and I think that hustling is really based in expectation.
Yes.
And it's saying okay, I have value if I produce these results. And I think that can be such a horrible trap to get into, because then you're like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to add an extra 20 minutes and then an hour. And I know I was in that when I first started until he started coming home and literally taking the laptop and taking my phone. And he hasn't been working for a couple of weeks. He's between shows. And so he is at home. And so he's like, okay, can you get this done in an hour? Because then we're going to go to Universal Studios. And I'm like, but it's really teaching me to step back, step away. And I think that's the beautiful part, especially of having an office that you come in and then you're out.
And things still run. You're still getting things done, even though you just now have an hour to do it versus 6 hours. And you still realize, I can get this done
in an hour.
Yeah, it's just about being efficient with your time and knowing you don't just need to be busy. That's not getting anything done.
Because some people are just filling that time and being busy, but nothing's actually getting done. And I think that's something that we've had to really focus on, even with some things in Dubsado, where it's I have so much to do, and it's but what are you actually doing? Let's step back and see. You're spending all this time, but then again, it's are you actually getting anything done?
You're just kind of existing behind your computer and looking at things, but not actually accomplishing anything.
That doesn't drive you forward at all. Not at all.
No. So, I think so too.
Yeah. So I want to kind of wrap this up by talking about what I love the most about what you guys do, and that is the in-person meetups. I think it was such a great idea. I think it's so cool, like for me, being able to come in and see the people in customer support that, you know, not me personally, but like Haley talks about and Sam talks about and stuff. And they're like, oh, so-and-so. And I'm like, who are you talking about? Then to be able to meet them, it's like, oh my gosh. And to see the camaraderie into, I don't know. I think there's something when you actually sit down with someone, there's almost like an exhale that happens because you're not alone. So I want you guys to talk about, why did you start those? And for people that are thinking about maybe putting more of a live element into their business, that encouragement that maybe you have for them to get started.
Biz is the brains behind the huddle.
Oh, Biz the brain.
I'm really, I think at this point in my life, I've realized how automated and how everything is online and everything. Like people don't necessarily know people. So it's like they think they know everything about someone, or they really follow everything that they do. But at the end of the day, you're only seeing what people put out, or, you know, their highlight reel. You're not actually knowing the individual. And so that's kind of been something that's bothered me for a while. And I was like, everything is just so like computerized and all this and that. And I'm huge on relationships. I've just always been the person that's like, they all make fun of me because they're like, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, oh, I have dinner with a friend. And then the next day they're like, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, I'm going to this with a friend. And they're like, how many friends do you have? What are you doing? And I'm like, I just like to be able to like build
connect.
Relationships with people. I think that at the end of the day, life is just about what you're doing for other people and how you're helping other people and just those relationships with other people. I think that's just, I don't know, that's just like what fills my soul, I guess. So I was thinking about it, and like I was saying before, it was one of those things where I was like, these people for the most part are in their garage or in their home office or working from their couch, and they don't have other people that they necessarily interact with, or they just need to get away from their kids for the day. And so we talked about it, and she was like, well, what if we just put a topic for the night and just dive into something? But at the end of the day, it's just being able to be around people and really help people. If there's a problem that somebody's facing in their business, these are all people in the same shoes. And so they can be like, well, I did this, or this didn't work for me, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like console your soul that week with those gorgeous brownies from Porto's.
Yes.
They're just, like, so good, right?
It's been donuts the last few times.
Yes.
Gosh, we've been getting like extras so that the guys made them.
They're like, when's your next meetup? I'm going to mark it on the calendar.
I know, right?
I'm getting donuts.
I know. They're like, oh, so we're not going to play basketball. The guys all play basketball on Wednesdays. And they're like, so that Wednesday we're staying and we're going to eat.
Yeah, we're going to have some donuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're really excited though, because with the huddle, this next huddle coming up is the first one. We're going to live stream it in our Facebook group.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
So it's going to be
I'm nervous.
something a little different,
Yeah.
but we get really raw and authentic within our huddles. Like, man, the last 2 months with the huddles, like people have been like deep diving into their business and finding out like, oh, that's what's wrong. And that's what I've been doing wrong this whole time. And they just needed someone to talk it out with. So even though it's not a personal one-on-one connection, we just want people to feel a part of it. Because we do and are expanding it more in cities, because we want people to just know that we're having these raw conversations, and you can too. So we're going to start expanding it to different cities as well. So
awesome. I love the idea of live streaming that, because people can, write in, and if they're having a specific issue, maybe that can be addressed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're really excited.
So this is a really good time to start thinking about, with the success that Becca and Biz have seen, and Jake, who's here. Hey, Jake. Energetically, he's right there. How can you start bringing in a little bit more of a live element into your business? How can you start connecting with people and forming either a mastermind or just having a Biz BFF plug you can have in your business? Like, how can you start bringing that in? And I think that will help you feel a lot more camaraderie, a lot more supported. So I'm really glad that we had that conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me crash the couch. This is so much fun.
So fun. Thank you for coming.
Oh, I'm so pleased. So where can people find you? Do you have anything that you would like to give to our audience? Just plug away.
Yeah, you can find us Dubsado.com or on our Instagram, which Biz and I manage, and we have such a fun time managing that. And it's my Dubsado on Instagram. We have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. So hop over there and tag them and tell them that you listened to the show and that you loved it. So in the meantime, thank you so much, ladies. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay!
That was so fun.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna take a photo and then we'll be done.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect. 25 minutes on the dot.
Wow.
I know.
We're good.
When I first got started with my online business, I looked at people who are getting featured in places like Huffington Post and Forbes and Inc. and wondering how the heck did they do that, right? In terms of me, I grew up in film and TV, so the video part and the branding part was really easy, but landing the press seemed impossible. But then I met a girl named Kristen Marquet who became my publicist and showed me the exact steps to take in order to land places like Entrepreneur on Fire, Huffington Post, BuzzFeed, Medium, Just Lex, the list goes on and on. It doesn't mean that I'm special, it means that we figured out a formula that works and we want to show you. Kristen and I have teamed up to write a book called Publicity Jumpstart, and we can't wait to share it with you. Get on the waiting list now. Order your copy today at publicityjumpstart.com, where we show you the top 10 ways to get your brand featured in the press. We can't wait to come alongside you in this journey. This is by far the most actionable entrepreneur book I've ever read when it comes to press, and I can't wait for you to get your hands on a copy. So go to publicityjumpstart.com and get yours today. I hope you loved this episode as much as I did. Now, we're all about building a tribe here at The Visible Entrepreneur, so be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and then head on over to the Facebook group. It's a great place where you can practice your video, live stream, and really enjoy the community that we have built. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next episode. Now get out there and get more visible.
That's a wrap.